Hey Avengers, happy Saturday. This will be my last live of the year. Okay, so I definitely wanted my last live for this year to be on this topic because I think this is an important topic. Now, tomorrow I will have a premiere playing. Okay, so that's not the same as a live. A premiere is just a pre-recorded video of music playing throughout the day on my backup channel. Which was For the Basics, but it has now changed. Okay. So my mods, if you're in here, can you please post a link to the backup channel where the music will be playing throughout the day tomorrow? So whenever you're free, you can always just stop by just to say Happy New Year and just speak or whatever else. Or some people actually play the music throughout the day. Whatever you would like. It's just by request. People like when I just play that during the holidays. Okay. Yeah. Today we're going to go over Shanquella's case and discuss the concierge that was there that day. Okay. Now, previously, we did not know who the concierge was. Now, I have my guesses and speculation based on the information that was collected. And should I say posted by Sue Ann Robinson, the family's attorney, of who it was, because the information matched up with the biographies on the website, the bios. So based on the bios on the documentation that was posted by Sue Ann Robinson and sent to the White House regarding Quella, that description of the concierge, such as the location and age and things like that, I matched it up to the bios on Cabo villas, and I was like, oh yeah, I know who that person is. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go over that today, and then also revisit the conversation I actually had with the concierge from January. Okay. But first, let me go ahead and start off with some shout outs. So let's start off with some shout outs for who is in the building on today. Okay, hold on one second. Shout out to Working Through. Thank you so much for joining my membership over here. Shout out to again to Working Through. Let me go through these joins as well. Shout out to Voluptuous. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining the channel over here. Shout out to Yvonne. Yes, I appreciate the membership join. Who else do we have here? Christy T. Welcome. Addison, I say hey to you. Let's see, Dimples. Let's see, Sunshine is in the building. My mod GT5, I appreciate it. Let's see who else is here. Yeah, so thank you to everyone that joined over here. And keep in mind, for the second channel, you only need the silver level, okay, the lowest level membership. Okay, that's for the emojis and things like that over here. Okay, so that's all you would need. Don't get the VIP level. If you already have the VIP level, you can go ahead and downgrade to the lower level because there's no need for VIP over here. Okay, so let me give a few shout outs. Let's see. Carmel Butterfly, welcome. Hey girl, hey. Tanya. Let's see, Gail is in the house. Just I have pinned the membership join link, so it's pinned at the very top of the chat. You should see the pinned comment, and there is a pinned link. Okay. Jeannie is in the building. I don't want to use a name. Let's see, Lexi. Bright is in the building. Yeah, so here's the link right here, but of course it's clickable if you scroll up or go to the pinned link. And okay, Jamila, Sandy, Sunshine is here. Lisa, Jilly is here. Yes, justice for make sure you keep hashtag justice for Shanquella. Tommy is in the house. Is it Tommy or Tommy? Tommy? Rose, I'm sure it's Tommy. Okay. Pinky in the Brain. Yes, Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's. I hope you have a happy holiday. Enjoy your, for those that celebrate, well, in some parts it's already kind of like, the New Year parts of the world. So Happy New Year to everyone, and enjoy your celebration, and make sure you're safe. Okay. So yeah, Miss Bennett dropping those roses. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see, Mr. Whippetham is in the building. And let's see. Yes, I did take some medication for my headache. Okay. So let's see. So I appreciate everyone and the well wishes. But yeah, I definitely wanted to do my last live for today. So that's why I didn't cancel. Okay. Let's see, Jay Goody. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey PM channel, haven't seen you in a while. Hello. Yeah, headaches definitely suck. Let's see, Millie Cent is in the building. Hello. And let's see who else is in the building. Let's see, Elizabeth is in the house. Hey girl, hey. Happy New Year. Let's see, Jamil, I think I already said hey to you. Thank you so much. I see Jazz C is in the building. Matthew, Blue Rain. Let's see, Latanya, Miss T is in the building. Hello. Della is in the house. Carmel Butterfly. Let's see, Latasha is here. Sandy, hey Sandy, hey. Let's see, Cheyenne is in the building. I think I already said hey, good Jay Goody. Yes, make sure y'all hit the like button your way in. That's a good way and a helpful way to get this video into the algorithm. Salute. Hey Leslie. Yes, hashtag justice for Shanquella. And by the way, I'm sure most people here have already signed the petition. If you have not, go ahead and sign it, please. You can find a petition at change.org/Shanquella. That's again change.org/Shanquella. Let me pull that up really quickly. So here's a link, change.org/Shanquella, and it's at 45,721 signatures. Even though people have tried to sabotage the petition, it continues to grow signatures. So they have totally failed. Okay. Yeah, they have failed at sabotaging. See, a lot of times when people try to do evil, it doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to share this link. Okay, so go ahead and sign a petition if you have not signed it already. And let's see here. I think I would say Mr. T Cup Views is in the building. Let's see, Marsha, Latanya, Nina Supreme, salute, hello. Manifest Destiny is here. Hey. Let's see, Spider Woman. I can't believe y'all, it's gonna be 2024. Yes, justice for Shanquella. Hey Mia. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. That way we can go ahead and get done with without actually keeping y'all here all night. Now if we stay here all night, that's fine, because y'all know I can do a long live. Okay. Let's see here. BJ Des is in the building. Let's see, Cheyenne. Beverly is here. King Gemini. I see some new people in the building. Yeah, so that's my backup channel where the music will be playing, Danny Robertson TV. Thank you so much for joining the membership, the Double Dime Diva. Let's see here. Come get this commentary. Make sure y'all check out her channel and subscribe. Wayne has found their way over here to the backup channel. Hello. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As you know, Sue Ann Robinson and Ben Trump, they sent a letter to the White House earlier this year. And when they sent the letter to the White House, they also attached certain documents and statements. Dear President Biden, okay? They wrote this letter. I'm not going to go over it. If you're new, I would suggest you to review older videos to catch up, okay? So review other older videos to catch up, okay? So they wrote a letter to the White House, and that's, as you can see, Benjamin Trump Ben Crump, I'm sure y'all know him. He's a lot of times on a lot of the cases of police brutality. And then also there's Sue Ann Robinson, the family's attorney for Shanquella Robinson family. So together they both drafted this letter, sent it to the White House, of course, to bring attention to the case and get justice for Shanquella. Attached to that was CaboVillas.com, the guest register list, where all the guest signatures. We already went over this a million times. I'm sure everyone knows. If you don't know, I suggest you catch up on the catalog of videos and the playlist. For the 6 members, we all know now of Cabo 6, okay, as Cabo 6. The first statement right here was actually from the manager of the concierge. So the concierge manager, which we already spoke to on the phone, gave a brief statement. Okay, a brief statement to the police, and of course, at the very top, they redacted the name and the date of birth. But as you can see, Guadalajara manager, professional trade manager, okay, and the university right there as the educational level of educational attainment. The address was, of course, blocked out, and the telephone number and the voter card information. However, it says civil status, married, nationality, Mexican, language, English and Spanish. Obviously, with a lot of English travelers, it's good for someone to be bilingual, okay? Native of Jalisco. So when I first started working on the Calla case, Cabo Villas had all of their employees on the website, their main employees in Concierge, and no, they didn't have the maids. They had the top people all the way down to the concierge, okay, and the concierge manager. So I noticed that the website was not actually, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. Like I realized that they had removed it from public view, but it was still available through archive information in Google. So I hurried up and I screen recorded their employee list, including the phone numbers for where they can be reached. Okay. They had, at that time, they had the concierge information and their phone numbers listed in their bio, because obviously when guests are traveling, they want to be able to reach their concierge that's assigned to their particular villa. So I went ahead and did that, and from there I wanted to know which one was the concierge for Cabo Villas that night or during that trip for Shanquella and the fake friend. Okay. I talked to all of them, but of course, no one wanted to actually admit that they were the actual concierge, because who actually wants to admit? Because then they know that people will be like calling them and be all over the news. So nobody really wanted to admit and say it straight up, like, I am the concierge. And also, Cabo Villas told all the people to not talk to anybody besides the police. So Cabo Villas started to do cover-ups. They started to take down certain links off their website, including their employee lists. And of course, to try to protect their brand and protect their image, they were moving shady, okay? Which of course they don't want to be sued, so that's why they were doing this and things like that. But everyone has their own speculation regarding everything. But of course, to me, they didn't want to be sued because they have, of course, the concierge, they have the chef, they have the maid, they are a full service travel agency, so they didn't want to, have any responsibilities or liabilities regarding this incident. So again, once I saw the bios under the concierge photos, I was able to see like the place of birth, like where the person said they were from, their level of education, and things like that. And yeah. So that's when I knew that in my mind, when I spoke to the one person, I was like, yeah, this has to be the person that was there that night, because their level of educational attainment is the same. Their place of birth is the same. Their level of education is the same. This has to be the concierge from that night. And the whole time that was just my guess or speculation, but it was not confirmed until yesterday, when I actually confirmed that it was the actual concierge for that night for the villa. And since that is the actual concierge for the villa, now that means that my conversation with the concierge takes on a whole new meaning and purpose, because before it was just like, I'm going to give you general information. But now when I can listen to the whole conversation again, knowing now that that's the actual concierge for that night. So even though they cannot give like direct information or just the specific information, it can be quite telling the way they answer certain questions in my conversation I had with them in early January. That we can just review it, because now we know that that whole conversation I had with them, almost 2 hours long, was the actual concierge for that night. Okay, so this is their statement that they gave to the police right here. The concierge from that night. And it says witness, and it also has victim check there, and people went over that, why they will have that. That he was lied to by the fake friends, and things like that. The investigator, Suni Popoko Milan, was assigned to the case to do the investigation, and it gives the place of the interview, criminal justice center, and things like that. And right here, this is the actual statement from the concierge that was over the trip for Cabo Villas, that villa. As you can see, it says Guadalajara, professional trade, tourism, okay? Customer service, concierge. The educational level right here is bachelor's degree. So again, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, bachelor's degree, the person's from Guadalajara, English, Spanish, and things like that in the bio, and then the age. I'm like, yeah, that has to be the one that was there for the villa. And sure enough, it was, okay? So this is their full statement. Well, we all know this, well, most of us, okay, depends on your personal opinion, was that statement from that concierge was way longer than the one from the manager, obviously, because the one from the concierge that was assigned would be longer because they have more interaction or with the Cabo. When you have a concierge while you're in Cabo for the villa, they are assigned to that villa. Every time you have anything you need or questions or anything, you call that person 24/7. And that's who you will be contacting. Okay. So when the person said that this person called them and said this, and the doctor said this and that, that's the actual concierge that was there that whole night. For that weekend, for the trip. Assigned for the trip. So this is their full statement. Okay, you can press 1 in the chat if you actually need a copy of this statement, because I don't know if I will actually go over this full statement. This video is right here. Is not to go over everything. It's for people that are pretty much have caught up with the Cola case. If you don't know about the case, you have a lot. You're like a way behind to catch up in one night. Okay. But yeah, they made this full statement, which I actually might go over if I need to. The main thing I want to kind of get across is that now that I know that the conversation I had was with the actual concierge, that means that some things they said during the conversation might actually be telling or kind of giving clues to certain things. I don't know. So tonight we're basically going to listen to the call again with a different perspective of it not just being a random concierge for Cabo Villas, but the one concierge that was actually over the trip. There's two different things there. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this. And look at the chat real quickly. Shout out to Latanya for the super sticker. Yes, and yes, I appreciate the support again. Shout out to Latanya for the super sticker. I appreciate the support. And everybody else, remember, support my channel for free just by what? Hitting that like button. Also, shout out to Gail as well. Thank you so much, Gail, for rejoining the membership. Over here are joining the membership. I appreciate the support. And let's see here. And I think I said, oh, shout out to the Double Dime Diva. Thank you so much for joining the membership over here. Yes, I appreciate it, y'all. I really do appreciate it. And again, Happy New Year. So let me actually show y'all this piece of conversation. Now, one time I might actually go through a lot of the conversations, like throughout the whole time that I had with the concierge from beginning to end. Today, I'm just going to go over some other statements really quickly. That's for this particular live. Okay. Again, some other statements, I was having conversations with him. I didn't know at that time that he was the actual concierge for that night. I just thought that he was one of the concierge and can give us general information and not actually specific. But something told me, because the way he was answering questions, how he was like really sympathetic and empathetic, and something told me that he was the actual one. Okay. Yeah, because the way he talked reminded me of this statement right in front of us. This statement in front of us reminded me of him. Like long conversation and trying to give as much detail as possible. So here is what I said. I said, can I ask you one final question? Has the police spoken to you since your original statement? And I also said, did they fire you because of what happened? So basically, he is no longer working for Cabo Villas. So my question was really just to say, did they fire you because of the whole incident and what was going on, or what? So can I ask you one final question? Let's be honest. If you haven't followed me for a long time, I never have one final question. Okay? One final question is just to say, well, actually, I won't even say it because sometimes people are watching me and I don't want to say anything. Anyways, can I ask you one final question? Has the police spoken to you since your original statement? The reason I wanted to know that is because I want to see if the police are still reaching out to people for questioning or further questioning or what's happening. That's why I asked that question. And also, I was trying to get my answer about whether or not this was the actual concierge for that night. So he responded no, that he was not fired because of what happened. So that's great news and great to hear that there was no retaliation due to that. Okay. And I said, okay, that's good to know. And I said, can I ask you one final question? I repeat my question because he did not respond to that particular question. Can I ask you one final question? Has police spoken to you since your original statement? We are trying to see if they are still actively investigating. So then he responds, I'm sorry, I'm not working anymore for the company, and I can talk about what happens when I was working with them. So he said he can't, so he's going to correct it. I can't talk about what happens when I was working with them. You can talk with the company about it. I can get in trouble for that. I'm sorry. I would like to help, but I can't. So he's pretty much saying that even though he's no longer working there, he obviously doesn't want to speak on what happened there at Cabo Villas. Y'all already know that most people really don't want to speak about things, especially when they're somewhere where they feel like they can get in trouble or people will come after them or certain things like that. Okay, so So he says, "I'm sorry, I'm not working anymore to the company, and I can't talk about what happens when I was working with them. You can talk with the company about it. Remember, the company has always told all their workers and employees to direct any conversations about Cabo Villas and anything that happened to the company. And when you call the company, of course, they're not gonna answer any questions at all. Because why Cabo Villas has all those villas and all that money invested into all of this, their company. They don't want to be sued. So to be honest, that's actually who should be actually sued, or that to start some kind of, civil stuff, right? Um, so he's saying that, of course, even though he's no longer working there, he's still following the protocol, which is to contact the company. And y'all already know I listen to people, but I know the company is not going to give me any answers, so I'm going to stick to no, there's no NDA. It's just like the company. We're talking about Mexico here. We're talking about people that are employed by the company. There's a lot of rich people that own Cabo Villas. They could, like, it could probably, it's different things. I can't really say, but I don't think it's no non-disclosure or anything signed like that. I'm sure it's just probably just told them to direct all. If you ever worked at certain jobs, they'll tell you that if anybody calls in about this or that, to direct it to higher up. Don't answer any questions. Only talk to the police. So that's why I think it was. Okay. And there is some sort of NDA or something like that. He would not have spoke at all in the first place, in my opinion. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, the second one says, hold on one second, y'all. Wait 1 second. Okay, the second one says, I'm sorry, I'm not working anymore to the company. And I already read that one. Okay. It says, and I said, I understand. Okay. And it says, is there anything else that you remember from that? Of course, time has passed. So I'm like, sometimes people remember something way later after it has happened. Or what's your statement, all that you remember? Okay, remembered. So basically, like, all this time has passed. Is there anything else that you left out of the police statement that you recall now? Because sometimes you give your first statement, you might not recall something or have a recollection of something. And then as time goes on, something like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. Okay, so I'm trying to see if there's anything that kind of popped up later. He says, it was on my statement, all that I remember. And bingo, there it is. Now, I had already confirmed in another way, but it wasn't like 100%. But when he put, it was on my statement, all that I remember, that's when I knew, like, all the way. Like, it went from 80% to 100%. That he's the one that gave the statement. Based on his bio, based on the conversations I had, that he was the concierge for that night when Pella was there. Okay? And I put, okay, thanks again. Happy holidays if you celebrate it. And you put, you are welcome. Happy holidays to you. So now, with that being said, that means I know who the concierge was that night. And I kind of figured already a long time ago that he was the actual concierge. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and listen to the conversation. Let me actually see if anybody put one in the chat for the people that don't have the statement. Okay, and by statement, that means the actual statement. Where is it? That this what he's the one that gave this statement to the police, and he said that this is all that he remembers. Now, here's the thing. This is all that he remembers himself, right? However, that doesn't mean that if someone had a particular question that couldn't like raise, like that doesn't mean he wouldn't be able to answer that particular question. You see what I'm saying? So like, you think that you gave all your statements based on an interview, but if someone interviewed you again, you would probably be able to answer their questions, additional questions that no one asked you before, you never thought about. Okay, because that's still in your memory. But of course, as time goes on, people forget certain things. But as of now, he's saying that this statement is all that he remembers. Okay. The concierge greets you when you get there, and then they also, when you call, they are the one you talk to. So he's not going to have 100%, like a lot of interaction with them besides phone calls and when they're meeting, like when you first arrive. So that would be his like exchanges between the guests. So for that limited exchanges, this is what he remembers, and get what he gave the police. Okay. But again, I will actually have to re-upload it to a public database or system, so I'll be able to share it out. But I don't see any ones in the chat where anyone would need this statement. Okay. Where people want this whole article. But you can go and press one in the chat again, giving y'all that chance if anybody actually needs the statement again, so to go over it with the video. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it with the video again. Now that we know that this is the actual concierge for that trip, we're going to listen to my call again that I had with that concierge to see if there's anything that kind of like, will tell us anything or anything like that. Now, keep in mind, at the time, he could not tell me that he was the actual worker. So to protect himself, he obviously did not want to say that he was the actual worker that night. Okay. And he could also, he also could lose his job and just even having a conversation or talking at the time. However, now he's no longer working there. So he's no longer working there now. Okay. So at the time, he wasn't really telling me that he was the concierge. He was like keeping it a secret. But by his conversation, I could tell that he was the actual concierge. So he wasn't really fooling me. I told everybody that I think that he was the actual one for that night. Okay, hold on. So the first call is just going to be me calling him, just to get some general information. And just to see if he's the actual concierge, right? And then the second time, I'm actually calling back for a longer extended conversation after I asked the audience if they had any questions. So I had my own conversation with him first, and then I went live, and I also had another conversation with him with audience questions. Okay, so when you're listening now, remember this is a pre-recorded we're revisiting, so please don't put in the chat, ask this question, ask that. This is not live. I'm revisiting an old conversation with new information, and the new information is that I know who the concierge is now, and that this concierge is the one that was there on the trip. Okay, so again, we're re-listening with new information that this is the person that was actually there. So even though they're saying hypothetical stuff and general stuff, this is the actual person that was there. Okay.
Hola, hola.
Yes. I need to speak to Lucy.
I'm sorry?
I need to speak to
Lucy.
Lucy is the one that everyone believes was the maid for that night for Cabo Villas, based on stuff that I in my mind found on CaboVillas.com, which states that the usual maid is Lucy. Okay, hold on. So that's who I was actually calling about. Hold
on. Where are you trying to call? Sorry?
The maid. I need to speak to the house cleaner. Lucy.
Lucy, what is the name of your bill?
Bella Linda 32.
Oh, I know. Wait, what's your name?
Daniela.
Daniela, and your last name?
Robertson.
Daniela Robinson. I think I remember you. But this is not the phone of Lucy.
Okay, what is her number?
I can give it free.
Why not?
Because you know why?
No.
It's private information, and you need to find another way to information. I'm sorry.
Okay. What time does the chef come in the morning for breakfast?
I'm sorry.
Okay, when the guests get there to Cabo, they all have to sign in, and you greet them with chips and salsa.
What is your It is, but not in the morning.
I know.
At the check-in.
At check-in, and you.
So, let me explain you. When our guests check in.
So basically, he already knew about me because people had already been telling the people that there's somebody calling around. Okay, so people already knew or was expecting for me to call because it was the word was getting around that I was calling the different workers. Okay, employees. Okay, so hold on.
That means they arrive to the villa. We give it to them chip salsa and guacamole. So it's not a specific time. That depends on the time they arrive from the airport. Okay?
Okay.
That's the story about chip salsa and guacamole. We don't have a time to give it to the guests. That's what time they arrive from the airport, or they arrive to the villa, because they can arrive to the airport shopping and then arrive to the villa, or they can arrive to the airport and stop by in a restaurant and have food, could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and then they arrive to the villa. So, and then we're gonna give them at the check-in when they arrive, when we meet them, we give them some chip salsa and guacamole and margaritas.
Okay, and all the guests have to sign in on the sign-in sheet, on the guest sheet.
Yes, that's a guest register.
Okay, and what time does the maid come for the clean the villa?
That depends of many things. So we can ask to the guests at what time they would like to have the maid in the morning, because sometimes they are tired, so they don't want somebody stay at the house early. But could be that could be changed in anytime we have a guest in every villa. So we don't have any specific time.
But it's usually in the morning. It's usually in the morning time.
I'm sorry.
But they come in the morning time.
Yes, like any maid service.
So they never come afternoon or late evening. They only come in the mornings.
That depends if the guests don't want to have the service in the morning. Well, that could be later.
And when
So it could be 9, 10, 9:30, 10:30, 8:30, 11, 12, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. So just imagine a reasonable time to show up in a villa and make cleaning.
Okay, remember that we're on my backup channel. So if you have a membership, this is not my main channel. So if you don't have your badge, it's because you're on my backup. Okay, so if you're on my backup, you're not going to have a badge. Okay, if you just, because each channel is different. Okay, but over here you only need the silver level. Okay.
So that's the whole possibilities to do a cleaning service.
okay, thank you. And also, does a chef come on the weekend too, or just on certain days on the weekday?
No, the chefs doesn't stay on the villas or permanent on the villas. So some chefs, not just the chef, bartender, they can be in contract and they can arrive for lunch or dinner when they arrive or the next day. So it's not like all inclusive. We don't have all inclusive services. So imagine if you like to come and visit to Cabo with your family, and you can make a reservation to have next day or lunch every day or dinner one day if you stay 3 or 4 days. So it's not typically like every day we have this. Everything changes all the time. Depends of the or guests what they need.
Okay, so
If they have just adults, if they have just kids, if they have adults and kids, if they have a birthday party, bachelor party, so it depends of many things to service in any house.
okay, and when a guest calls you and needs a doctor, you refer them to the doctor.
Tyson Boat.
Wait 1 second. Just wait 1 second.
But that means they arrive to the villa. We give it to them chip salsa and guacamole. So in a restaurant and have anytime we have a guest in every villa, so we don't have any specific time.
But it's usually in the morning. It's usually in the morning time.
I'm sorry.
But they come in the morning time.
Yes, like any maid service.
So they never come late, like afternoon or late evening. They only come in the mornings.
That depends if the guests to have the service in the morning. Well, that could be later.
And when
So it could be 9, 10, 9:30, 10:30, 8:30, 11, 12, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. So just imagine a reasonable time to show up in a villa and make cleaning. So that's the whole possibilities to do a cleaning service.
okay, thank you. And also, does a chef come on the weekend too, or just on certain days on the weekday?
No, the chiefs doesn't stay on the villas or permanent on the villas. So some chefs, not just the chef, bartender, they can be in contract and arrive for lunch or dinner when they arrive for the next day. So it's not like all-inclusive services. We don't have all-inclusive services. So imagine if you like to come and visit to Cabo with your family, and you can make a reservation to have next day or lunch every day or dinner one day if you stay 3 or 4 days. So it's not typically like every day we have this. Everything changes all the time. Depends of the or guest what they need.
Okay. So
If they have just adults, if they have just kids, if they have adults and kids, if they have a birthday party, bachelor party, so it depends of many things to have a service in any house.
okay, and when a guest calls you and needs a doctor, you refer them to the doctor.
Yes.
So the guest calls the concierge for everything they need, and then the concierge helps them with everything they need, including a doctor.
Yes, there's many services they can request. So like a transportation, taxi, doctor, anything. We are an assistant, so we help them.
And what time does the chef come at lunchtime for lunch?
Depends on what time do you want the lunch.
So you choose the
If you
time.
like the lunch, if you like the lunch at I don't know 2 p.m. So they arrive maybe 1 hour before, 1 hour and a half. Depends how many people please or how complicated it is.
Okay, thank you. I will call you back later.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye. Hola.
Hola, Ivan.
Hola.
So,
Hola.
yes, I have another question.
Yes.
Okay, so can a guest request a time for cleaning? Like, can they request a time for cleaning, or does the maid already have a certain time and then they can change the time? Like, is there a set time for the maid and then the guests can change it? Or do they have to automatically just choose what time they want the maid to come?
Both options are available.
So when they get there to the villa, the guests get to the villa, they can say what time they want the maid to come at that time, or when do they decide what time the maid comes?
Yes, when they arrive, they can choose.
They can choose what time?
Yes.
And can they later change the time?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Depends. Every day they can change.
Okay. Can you tell me what happens when the guests get to the villa? So you show them around the villa. You give them chips and salsa. They can choose what time the maid comes. Or can you tell me what happens when they get to the villa?
Yeah, that happens. Exactly what you say. We explain, we show, we tell them what is everything, how everything works. we set up. We check what they're gonna have, like activities or transportations, what they need. We talk about how will be the vacation.
Oh, okay. So at that time, and then you from there, you tell the maid what time to come based on what the guests chose.
Yes, is possible.
Okay. And if a maid,
so, one thing is, I need to know, you are from where? Why you are asking me this?
Because I'm thinking about coming to Cabo, and I want to make sure of how it all works.
But you asked me specifically about the Lucy.
Yeah, but right now I don't really care about Lucy. I just want to care about the trip. If I go to Cabo, I don't really care about Lucy right now. I have other questions about just the trip to Cabo. What
Okay.
So if a maid comes to the villa to clean and she finds somebody that's sick, what would the maid do? Like, will the maid call 911, or what would the maid do?
I don't know why you were specifically refer. So what will be the example?
So he pretty much knows what I'm up to and what I'm all about. Okay. Yeah, this was at a time when I was trying to get information, of course, on how everything works over there when people arrive and things like that, and also to see who was actually the concierge, and also to get a hold of Lucy. Okay, hold on. So I'm saying, like, okay, so whenever someone is sick or ill, do y'all call 911? Red Cross, or do y'all call the doctor if y'all if someone is sick, or what is the first person you call when someone is sick?
About what is specific situation?
If you find someone sick, like if the maid comes and she finds someone sick at the villa, or if the staff, like if you are the maid, find someone sick at the villa, what would you do? What is the procedure?
Depends, because it's many different things could happen. So depends specifically what happened. Is with the way to proceed, the way to do the things.
So
like if it's what do you specifically?
So I guess it depends on what's wrong with the guest. What's wrong with the guest is who you would call.
Yes. So. Yeah, it's many things could happen in a villa, so it's the way that the maid can or she can do, or she need to do, like I tell to other guests, or report to his boss, or report to concierge. So depends of what is specifically the situation.
Okay, do the maids know CPR, or do they know anything about like CPR training?
No, they are not training with that.
Okay, is there?
They are for cleaning.
Okay, so they don't have any health knowledge or expertise, or CNA training or anything. Not CNA, but CPR.
They don't need to have this training to be the maid. So the maid, she clean, she take care of the house, she take care of the laundry, she take care of the house.
Okay, so she can report to other guests or the concierge, or different things depending on what she finds.
Yes.
Okay,
so
there? Go ahead.
It's not something that's gonna happen all the time. So
And is there one maid per each villa? Like there's like every time you go to the same villa, you have the same maid?
No, depends of the villa. So some villas they can have one or two, or they can be managed by a company. So the company can have 5 or 6 maids. So it's not something specifically.
So the maid can change each day.
Yes, but what is need to be with your vacation plan?
Why do I need to know that? Because if there is a maid that comes, I'd rather have the same maid every day and not a different person. Okay.
It's possible to have it. So
okay. So
but it's cleaning service, so it's not something.
So he pretty much knew exactly why I was calling, what I was up to. Okay, so he kept trying to call me out, but I'm obviously not going to like be direct because I'm still trying to get answers. Shout out to Lisa for the super sticker. Says Happy New Year, Danny. One drink lemon. Oh, thank you so much. I don't really drink though. But yeah, I appreciate the super sticker. Yes, and Happy New Year to you and your family as well. And everybody else, remember, support the channel for free just by what? Hitting that like button. GT5 says, I remember he shared a lot of information with Danny and seemed sincere with his response. Yes, definitely. Okay.
Specifically and professional to select one people to do that service.
Yeah.
It's the same like in a catering service, the chef. So you can request for specifically team, but depends of availability or if they have another services or if they need to have a special permission so to go to see their family or something, or is they job for vacation, or is many things can happen to select one person in your to give you the service, but we make sure we give you the service. But these kind of questions, I think you need to. I can send you. I'm gonna send you a phone so you can talk to the sales team so they can give you this information.
Okay, but thank you so much, but I have one more question. Just one more question. Okay. When the chef, you said the chef. So when the chef comes, do the chef cook by himself, or do he have other people helping him cook? Like, is one chef to cook for the whole house, for the whole villa? Or do he have an assistant, like assistant chef too? Or his waitress come with him?
So in the catering services that we offer, you can ask for, depends on how many people and the different services that we offer. And if it's a food and drinks, usually it's a chef and a bartender or a chef. Hey, Canelo, ven acá.
So as you can see, he was trying to get me off the line because he knows my intentions. He's like, if you're actually going to travel, I can give you the number to the sales department. You can talk to the sales department. By the way, I had to talk to the sales department already, customer service and things like that. Obviously, I don't want that because I already know they're not going to give me any information. So, of course, I'm obviously wanting to try to keep him on the phone instead.
So, depends of what services do you need. So it's the people who can arrive to the house and give you the service. But again, that depends of the catering company.
So y'all have Cabo Villas has different catering companies, and then it depends on that company and what they do. But they usually have
depends on what do you need is what they're gonna send it to you. Like if you have if you have a dinner in your house for 10 people or for 40 people or for big event for 100 people, so depends what do you need. Just for lunch, for dinner, so it depends. If you have 3 courses, family style, dessert, special flavor margaritas, depends on many things. The of the service that you need is the team that they're gonna send it to you. But usually, one chef is enough to prepare the food for a house, and they have somebody for drinks maybe, and like a waiter and bartender, and a chef. So depends. Some people, they just request the food, they want to have their own drinks, so they just request one chef. So it depends of many things about how many people do you need for dinner. How many people you're gonna have for dinner is the team that they're gonna send it to you. If it's for 2 people, 4 people, 10 people, 15 people, depends of many things.
Okay, and if I could travel to the villa and I leave something behind, let's say I lost something and I leave it, do y'all have a lost and found to where y'all would, how would I get that item back, like to the United States, if I lose something and if I forget something there at the villa?
Well, you need to be in contact with the concierge and ask him about the item that you left, and contact also the sales, the person who's gonna help you to make the reservation and give you all this information. And depends on what it is, if it's sunglasses, or if it's a watch, or if it's a luggage. Depends.
So if you're just now getting here, this is the actual concierge. This is the actual concierge that was there when first Shanquella's trip, that was over her trip, that greeted the guests when they came, that gave that police statement that we all know that Sue Ann Robinson sent to the White House. So this is the actual conversation that we're revisiting with a different understanding, or just under a different lens. The first time was just like a conversation. We didn't know whether he was the actual concierge or not. Now we're revisiting it because now we know that he was the actual concierge, to see if there's anything in there that's telling or anything. Okay, so yeah. Let's see here. If you're also new, I suggest you watch other videos so you can actually catch up on what actually is happening. Okay, because I think some people are actually new, they don't know. Hold on.
This is we're gonna try to send it to you, send you back wherever you left, so we can use the company that you want to deliver it.
So he is saying, and overall, he's saying that he was lied to by the guests. So that's where his position is. I suggest some people read the statement that he gave to the police. Okay. Yeah. So I was just read the statement that he gave to the police department to see what he actually said in police in that statement, that he felt like he was lied to by the fake friends. Yeah.
Like FedEx or UPS or something.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's smart.
But we don't have we don't keep nothing.
That was already stated that y'all have different catering services. So not the specific ones. And when y'all set the table, is a formal setting where you set the full table till every spot is set, so that way we can invite new people just in case at the last minute. So do y'all is the table set for everyone, like it's fully set?
So wait 1 second. Let me go over this one part. Hold on. On the last part of his statement, I'm going to actually read. It says, days later, I found out that there's a lot of controversy because of the news and the video of the main guest, Miss Dejanay Jackson, hitting her friend Shanquella, the guest who died. When I saw the video in social media, I realized that practically the main guest, Miss Jackson, had manipulated me with the information she provided of what happened to leave the country as soon as possible. It should be noted that she put the name of Nazir Wiggins as the last person on the guest list or registry. So he is actually upset with Dejanay Jackson because she manipulated him with certain information to be able to leave the country. So remember, calling the concierge and telling him a lie over the phone about what happened to Shanquella instead of actually telling the truth that she had beat her and savagely attacked her. So this concierge is saying, had she had told me the truth about, savagely beating Shanquella, things he could have handled things differently, but she called and lied instead, so she'll be able to leave the country. So he said, once he saw what really happened via that video, I realized that practically the main guest, Miss Jackson, had manipulated me with the information. Okay, so he feels he had been manipulated or tricked by the main guest who called him on the phone. So again, I think that we probably need to reread the statement so you can actually hear his actual statement and how he felt. So do I think that the concierge right here, this one, is actually a part of a cover-up? No, I don't. I think that he was actually lied to and tricked by exactly what he said, Dejanay Jackson, who he named in the statement, that she lied to him about what happened to Shanquella to leave the country. The Cabo 6 also lied to other people. They lied to Shanquella's mother. They lied to the doctor. They lied to everybody. Now, of course, I'm not going to get into all that other part because we already know the doctor is a medical professional, an expert. She should be able to examine the body herself and do her own analysis and examination, determine the actual stuff that's happening. Okay. As a concierge, obviously that's not his scope. That's not his career to actually analyze that kind of thing. However, anybody that looks at Shanquella should obviously see that she has been beat. But once the doctor arrives, the doctor kind of takes over the whole thing. Okay. So yeah, in the actual statement, he says that the main guest, Miss Jackson, manipulated him with the information she provided of what happened to leave the country. Wait. Let's see right here. Hold on. I also saw the main client, Miss Jackson, making contact with the male guest, and on several occasions entering and leaving the house. During this time, I am waiting for blank, who is I already know who that is, to tell me what to do since he are my concierge team leader. That's the manager that gave that brief statement. Okay. So I entered the house where I initially observed the guests, relaxed, calm, sitting in the living room area near the bar and dinner table. My purpose was to look for the main guest, Miss Jackson, and give her my condolences. When I talked to her, I gave her my condolences. She thanked me and told me that she had talked to her friend's mother and mentioned that this was so fast to lose her in an instant for having had too much alcohol. So right there, he mentions again right there to lose her in an instant for having too much alcohol. I asked her if I could give her a hug, to which she said yes, and she gave me a very indifferent hug, very cold. So he said when he hugged Dejanay Jackson, he felt that the hug was indifferent and cold. Then he says he saw another guest, a skinny girl. I saw a very sad guest, a skinny girl, and I saw that she was in pain. I left that area and stayed outside the main entrance to give them space to mourn and grieve. Minutes later, I heard laughter. So he left out for people to mourn and grieve, but then he heard people laughing in the other room. He's like, you know, what? So obviously he's going to remember that. A lot of times people remember something or recall something, they're going to remember something that's odd or that stands out. So he's thinking that it's going to be like crying or mourning or grieving, but he hears laughter for some reason. It doesn't say why. It says, then moving forward, I approached Blank, who told me to leave to go back to my villas in Cabo, San Lucas, that he will be in charge of following up and supporting the clients and the authorities. So the manager obviously told him to leave. Okay. The manager, I also spoke to the manager, and he's also obviously doesn't talk. Okay. But I said, I already know you're the manager of Cabo Villas, and I already had conversations with him. He said, so I said goodbye to the clients and left for Cabo San Lucas. Later, around 21 to 21:30 hours, the main guest contacted me to request transportation to go to dinner. So he was actually on the scene, like trying to console the guests and things like that. And then he was actually told to leave the scene by the manager, who said he got it from there. Like, you know, the manager comes and say, I got it handled, you can leave. But then later on, he was contacted by the main guest, who's Dejanay Jackson, to request transportation to go to dinner because they had not eaten anything all day due to the situation. So I called Blank with phone number Blank, who owns Land's End Transfer. So he gives the name, says Land's End Transfer, transportation company, requesting transportation for the clients of Villa Linda 32 to San Jose to go to dinner because they had not eaten anything. The driver advised of his departure from Villa Linda 32 to San Jose del Cabo to find a restaurant for dinner. Now, remember, they contact the concierge for everything they need. So obviously they're going to call and say they need a ride to dinner. Okay, but obviously moving forward, says at the end of the service, the driver gave the phone number, reported via audio message on the WhatsApp chat of the Land's End Transfer group that the service had ended and that he had left the guests at the airport hotel. So the guests actually called and said they wanted to go to dinner, the main guest, Dejanay, but when he ordered the ride for them to go to dinner, he thinking they're going to dinner, they actually left to the airport hotel. The next day, Blank called me to tell me that the maid was reporting that there was no one in the villa, that if I had been notified that they were leaving, to which I replied that no, that the day before they had only requested transportation to the center. So later around 11 in the morning, I sent a message to Miss Jackson to offer my support, asking if everything was okay and if there was anything I could do for it. Without getting a response until the next day, Monday, October 31st, 2022, when she texted me asking if she had anything else for checkout, if she had to sign anything, I could email it to her as they had already left. So Dejanay called and said, I already left, but if you need anything for me to sign or do anything, you can email it to me instead because I'm already gone. Later, she asked me for the property manager's number. So minutes later, I sent it to her. Days later, I found out that there's a lot of controversy because of the news and the video of the main guest, Miss Dejanay Jackson, hitting her friend Shanquella, the guest who died. When I saw the video on social media, I realized that practically the main guest, Miss Jackson, had manipulated me with the information she provided of what happened to leave the country. And what information did she provide? She kept saying that Shanquella died of alcohol poisoning. She never told him that she had beat Shanquella and attacked Shanquella and hit Shanquella. He didn't know about it until the video. So he felt like she manipulated him. Also, don't forget, he said that she called for a ride to dinner and they actually went to the airport hotel to actually be trying to leave the country. So he felt manipulated. It says it should be noted that she put the name, and he also wanted to know. Remember, after the video was posting and Nazir went live, Nazir kept saying in the video, I didn't sign the guest list, I didn't sign the guest list, I didn't sign the guest list. So obviously, since he probably saw that video, and remember, he also knew who I was because he's monitoring like the stuff on social media, watching the case because he already knows what, like he's a part of it. Because obviously, if you're at the concierge, you're gonna be monitoring or what. He saw the viral video, so what makes you think he didn't see Nazir Wiggins' video as well? Of Nazir said, I didn't sign that guest list, I didn't sign the guest list. So he put here, it should be noted that she put the name of Nazir Wiggins as the last person on the guest list or registry. So he actually said the main guest, Dejanay Jackson, is the one that actually signed or put Nazir Wiggins' name on the guest list. Yeah, so people are thinking that Shanquella was the main guest or the person that actually organized the trip and planned it. It was actually Dejanay as the main guest person over the trip. Okay. Yeah. And if you are going to arrive late or later than everyone else, people have to kind of type your name on the paper or put your name on the paper. Now, technically, to be honest, you're not supposed to be doing that, especially when it comes to signatures and things. But if you ever made reservations or booked anything, they want to know the number of people arriving. And a lot of times when you arrive, they want everybody's name on the paper. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to the video now. Hold on.
Difficult to change for more people because the reservation, the chef or the catering services prepare the chef with everything he's going to need for, like if it's a table for 6 people, maybe he has enough for 7 people or 8 people, 2 more people just in case somebody will show up or somebody wants more, or just in case. But
so we're back to the part about the chef. Okay, Wayne says the saddest thing about all of this is we may never know the truth about what actually happened. I think that the FBI technically, I think they are still keeping it open for a reason. Once a case is closed, you automatically can get information on the case, like everything that's available, all the statements, all the evidence, everything that was collected are used in the case. You can actually get that. As we most know, y'all know, I normally try to get information once something is closed. The case is still open, so they are not releasing anything. So I still have hope for the case as long as it's open. Once it's closed, that's when it's going to be like a cold case. But for them to actually still keep this open, that tells me that there's something there that they feel like they just probably need a little bit more information on. Okay. Yeah. And remember, the first autopsy said atlas luxation, homicide, of course. The second one says undetermined. Undetermined doesn't mean that there's no way it could be homicide. That means that it could be an accidental or homicide. It's so much going on that it's undetermined. So they actually didn't put like the actual thing. So once it's undetermined, that can also leave the case open to see what's going to happen next. Okay. Yeah.
If suddenly you as a client change everything, like 5 more people, 10 more people, the chef doesn't have the setup to provide the service for more people. So they can have a big change.
Okay, so uno momento. Okay, so I can't really think of any other questions, y'all. So I'm gonna hang up. I can't think of any other questions, and I've been on here for a minute.
So basically, at that time, I was asking the audience what other questions they had. Obviously, keep in mind at that time I wasn't sure of who the actual concierge was. And obviously he also was saying that he can only answer general questions, okay, not specific questions. So I was asking the audience if they have any questions, okay. And also during that live, it was actually a 4-hour live. I actually had made numerous phone calls. I called different concierges and different people trying to figure out which one was it, okay.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna hang up now. I don't have any other questions. So I really need to talk to never mind. So can I ask you a question? My last question, just for real, my last question.
I'm always saying my last question. It's never going to be my last question. Even now, I still have questions. Obviously, when the case is still like there's a lot of answers that people want, there's always going to be another question. Now, whether someone will actually answer another question, another is another story. Okay, but am I going to actually try to ask more questions? Of course, obviously.
What do you know about Shanquella Robinson?
Hola.
Yes, what do you know about Shanquella Robinson? Hello?
Hola.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Have you heard about Shanquella Robinson, the American that was murdered in Cabo?
Yes, I heard about it.
What have you heard about it?
Like the more of the news that the United States and this a situation happened in one of the villas at San Jose del Cabo.
Yeah.
But I don't know like more information like that you can find in news or YouTube.
So you don't know any other information outside of the news and YouTube?
No. I'm sorry, I don't know.
But you are friends with the other concierge, right? The concierge that was there the night with Shanquella was murdered. Are you friends with that concierge?
Yes, we are a team and as a concierge.
Okay, so do you like that concierge? Are you good friends with him?
Yes, of course. So we are a team who, as a concierge, we help for clients in anything they need, any situation they need.
Yes, I see that you have a lot of good reviews. So you are a very good concierge. I also see that you're very nice, you're friendly. So they definitely should give you a raise. Definitely give you a raise, because I can tell that you are a nice concierge, answer questions, and really should probably be the boss or the manager, to be honest, because you are like one of the nicest people I've spoken to for Cabo Villas. So what about the other concierge that was with Shanquella? What is his name?
So all of us as a concierge, we have been working for many years in the villas, and our job is just help people, assist, like a assistant, helping in anything they need.
Yes, I know that. So who is the concierge that helped Shanquella, that was very helpful for Shanquella? Who was that one?
I can because it's investigation here in Mexico about that. I can give any information about it. So the police, because they have all this information, but they we can talk about anything. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because it's an investigation working on, of course, show what happened and take decision about the situation.
Yes. So on here it's showing that it was Geo, and it says Geo and Angel. So was it someone else?
So basically, he is saying it was under investigation, so no one can really talk. And to be honest, Jazz, a lot of people who are not talking, not supposed to talk at all. They all work for Cabo bills. They can lead to them getting terminated and fired. So obviously, not wanting to say anything that could get him in trouble or lose his job. You can hear like he has a family and things like that. So Geo is the actual manager. He is the customer, like the concierge manager, and I did talk to Geo. So Geo is the one that told him to go ahead and leave. He can go home. That he would handle the rest of the whole situation with the Cabo and the whole incident with Shanquella. So he actually left, and that's when he said he left when the manager told him to leave. Okay, so that's who Geo is.
On here it says Geo and Angel was a concierge, but Geo said he's not the concierge for that night.
No, we are a concierge.
So Geo wasn't the actual concierge over the trip, but he was the manager who actually did come out once the whole incident happened and gave a statement. So that first statement you look at on that document, there's two statements. One from the manager, which is a short, brief statement. That's the manager Geo. It also matches the bio. And then the second one is the concierge that was over the trip that they called for anything they needed, from rides to the doctor and things like that.
But I give you more information about about this situation, because it's an investigation in Mexico. So I can give any information about it. So the Mexico authorities, the police, they have all the information and they are working on solve the problem.
Yes, but
I can give you more information about specifically in names, times, everything. I'm sorry, I can give you that information.
Okay, so
the police in Mexico, they have all this information.
So that's why you knew. How did you know my name? Where did you see me from?
I don't know your name. You told me you are Danielle.
But you said you heard of me or something like that, right?
I'm sorry?
But when I said my name, you said you heard of me.
No, I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
And it's hard for me to remember a specific name. Only the lady who was on the news, he passed away. But we have in their houses maybe 6 houses, or 2 to 3 houses per week with 5, 10 people, 50 people. So it's impossible for me to remember the names of everybody. I'm sorry.
Okay, I understand. So I think
I know. I ask because I know if somebody is calling, try to get some information about this house and this case. But in this case, I can give you specific information about it because the police has this information.
Yes,
and because it's an investigation, we can.
For everyone listening, this is actually the old call. We're revisiting it. Okay, so this is not a new conversation. We're listening to the same. So he's not rewriting history. This is actually this is an old call that we're listening to again with under a different lens and understanding. Before, we did not know that this was the actual concierge for that night. Now we know. So if you're just not getting here, this is not a new conversation. So he's saying that he has heard about someone calling around trying to get information. Okay.
They have all the information that maybe you are asking, but the police has that information. So it's the only, they can give you more information about it. The police in Mexico.
Okay, well, I think that wasn't it Pablo, the one that was a concierge for Shanquella, the Pablo?
No, I'm sorry, I can give you information. Maybe you can see all the team that we are, but I can tell you this information because I can get in trouble with the police because it's an investigation.
Okay.
And I hope everything. Of course, the police found everything and they solved the thing, and it's a very sad situation happening in here or with us or in the house.
Yes, definitely. I understand. And I appreciate you answering the questions. And it's very sad about Shanquella. And we mostly just want answers. We want to know what happened to her in Los Cabos while she was traveling. You seem really nice, and we would just want some answers about her, what happened to her. So any questions that you answered or can answer will be helpful to us to understanding what happened to Shanquella when she traveled to Los Cabos.
Well, I can give you like a specific information about that situation because it's an investigation. So in Mexico. So if you need more information, only the police, they can give you this information. I'm sorry.
Okay, so okay, that's all for right now. Thank you. And thank you for answering the questions that we had about the villas and how everything works. I can tell that you're a good concierge, and I appreciate you for answering some of our questions about how everything works when you travel to Los Cabos. And so have a great night. And like I said, thank you for answering some of our general questions. I know you can't answer specific questions, but I appreciate you for answering some general questions that we had.
Yes, and something you say you saw my reviews. So if you found the reviews, you can check the reviews about the company Cabo Villas. And we are a company who focus in help people to travel. And you can see the reviews of my clients and have an idea what we do for them. So as a company, we work to make sure they enjoy their vacation. We help them in anything they need, and we only focus in that. I tell you this because I know some bad news. They talk about our company, but it's not what we do. So we are focusing in take care of our clients as much we can. And this situation was something who is very sad for everybody, for the family, specifically for the family. But as a company, we are focused always in take care of our clients, and you can see them in the comments.
So no. I gave him a compliment. Of course, I'm trying to get information, of course, like that. And I saw his reviews were positive, but I definitely was not giving no kudos or no positive commentary or anything on Cabo Villas, the actual company itself. Okay. So he's trying to speak like, you're talking about me and my reviews, but look at Cabo Villas and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about no Cabo Villas. Okay. Cabo Villas was trying to cover up a lot of stuff. With their website, it was a lot of things to avoid getting sued. So I hope their ass get sued. Okay, hold on.
That we have all over social media, in Facebook, and specifically in social media, you can see how people talk about us. And sometimes if we make a mistake as a company, it's because somebody forget to make a reservation in a transportation company, or some taxi problem, or air conditioning didn't work, things like that. But we are focusing help and take care everybody. That's the mission and of our company, and that's what we do as a concierge. That's what we do. We help, and as much we can.
Yes, and like I said, I appreciate you, and I don't have any more questions right now, but I probably will call back another day, just with not for specific questions, but just general questions. Just general questions. I'm not going to ask you any more specific questions, okay? Because I understand you cannot give specific answers. Is this on the news in Mexico? Is Shanquella Robinson on like your news station? Like, you see the case being talked about on the media in Mexico?
Yes, we have some news here in Cabo, but well, social media, social media, you can see the news about well, from everything, from everywhere. So we saw some news here in Cabo in the local news, and in the United States, because we are a company who has people in United States and Mexico. So we saw many news when you put the name of this lady. So you can see news in Mexico, in United States. I don't know where are they.
Okay. Tosh says he never ever said condolences. He actually has. Now, has he reached out to the family to say condolences? I don't think so. I don't know, because I know Sue-Ann has had contact with certain people. However, did he say sorry for your loss and he's sorry about what happened? He has done that. In messages, he has said that. And remember, I didn't post all of the whole conversation messages. I only post what's needed or needs to be known to the public. I don't post everything. Yeah.
The media or news, they from California or from Texas or from New York. I don't know where, but they talk about this situation.
Can you give me what is the local news station for Mexico that talks about Shanquella?
Wayne says, I simply asked Danny because her death was undetermined. There's 2 autopsies. There's one that was actually homicide, and then there's one undetermined. So there's 2 autopsies that were done. The first one was homicide by Atlas luxation, and then they Atlas luxation, which they actually got a warrant out for her arrest. And then the second one is undetermined. I suggest that for those that are catch up on older videos, okay, because this video is just like going on a revisitation of the concierge and not the whole case, because there's a lot of information on this whole case.
So I can look at that station.
It was like a newspaper, like a news in Cabo, or like a newspaper, digital newspaper.
Okay,
I don't remember which one. They are like a 4 or 5. Okay, that's all I need for you right from now, and I appreciate you answering my questions. But can you also send me the link to the local media that talks about Shanquella? Just send it to me in WhatsApp. Like, just send me some links to where you saw it being discussed in Mexico, because in America we would like to know if it's being discussed in Mexico, because we see that you're a caring person, but we also want to see if other people in Mexico care about this Shanquella and what happened to her in Los Cabos. So please send me links to where it's being discussed in Mexico. And yes, I can do it. No problem. I can check. And is something. This situation is something that in Mexico, and specifically in Cabo, that we are is something that was a shock. It's a big new bad news, because until is in Mexico and United States, they say what really happened. Obviously, we are worried about why this happened here, because we are focusing take care of everybody, and obviously we are focusing. We want to have a very safe place, not just to you can travel. It's a place that we can live. I have a family. I have my daughter is 16 years old. I have a son, 13 years old. So obviously, I live here in Cabo 16 years ago, and this is a very, very nice and a small place to live and focus in the tourism destination. So when something like this happens, so obviously we are worried, and it's not good for nobody, not for the people, not for the family, not for the tourist destination, not for Mexico, not for company. And so it was a big and sad news. And my question is also, I understand you are interested in this. Why? You are in a newspaper or police officer? You are family of the lady? I would like to know why I'm speaking.
Friend of the family.
You're a friend of the family?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm so sorry what happened.
Yeah, and I can tell that you're really sincere and that you are sorry about what happened. And if if this was your family or a friend or even just someone that you cared about, you will actually want to know what happened and when they were traveling to Los Cabos, and then they traveled supposed to be on like a fun vacation, and then they never made it home and they were murdered. So you would want to know answers. So that's simply what is happening. People want to know answers.
Yes, I can tell you something that happened in general. So when people travel as a group of friends, many times they are worried about the location, Cabo, and about the neighbor. Just in case, if somebody, if everything is safe, to leave your money in your room or in your backpack, or they always ask if the maid or the staff, like a pool guys, is people that they need to really be worried about it. And honestly, I all the time tell them, if something happened, we need to like in a bachelor party, everybody knows the groom, but not each other. So I tell them, when something happened, like if we lost an iPhone, a phone, or a wallet in the villa, I start checking first the rest of the group. I don't ask first to the maid, so I start checking about the rest of the group, because sometimes you don't know who is the one who are you traveling as a friend or group. That's something that I can tell you. Sometimes if we have an issue, many times happen with the same group, not with the destination, or not with the staff, not with the maid, not with the chef. So the issue could happen with the same group of people who is traveling. Many times even it's the same family, like brothers and sisters. Sometimes they drink too much and they fight, and so that's the problem. So it's not the destination, it's many times happen with the same group who is traveling.
Oh, yes, I understand. I completely understand. I'm definitely not blaming you or the maid or anybody saying that it's your fault what happened to Shanquella at all. That's not why. I know that it's Desjanae and her fake friends that caused this to happen to Shanquella. So I don't blame the concierge who is just there to assist, and I don't blame the maid. I actually blame the fake friends and Desjanae, the one that actually brutally attacked her, okay? So, has someone ever died there before I got into a fight? And then what happened? Has someone else?
I've been in this company for 4 years, and this is the first time I heard something like that happen.
This is the first time, so no one has died in the villa before? Or got killed in the villa?
No, and as a Cabo Villas, we management close to 160 villas. So we work with the 160 villas for many years, and in these 4 years, for me, is the first time I knew something like that happened in one villa.
Oh, okay. So no one has gotten into a fight at the villa either?
Oh, of course they can. We can have fights. Many different stories. Imagine this: 160 villas. We are a big company, so we take care of many reservations, and of course they are fighting. So, but there are fights, or they have accidents. People drink a lot of too much, or they abuse on the alcohol, and they can just fall on the stairs or by the pool.
Kitty, that's a different place.
Like
that's not Cabo
like
Villas. That's a different place as people died at.
The guy and the ladies, they can fight because, I don't know, a couple problems, or between friends or even brothers. But usually it's like maybe just some punches or a little bit of blood. So like but nothing like this.
And what happens when they fight? Do the police come out, or is there security in the neighborhood where the police come out, or what happens when they fight?
Depends, because if somebody on the villa, they call the police. Well, they contact us and they want to call the police, or a neighbor can call the security and security can call the police, or we just know next day when they have a blue eye and say what happened. Oh, nothing. So we just have to fight. Or the lady next day, she just requests a taxi to go to the airport and leave. So it's something for us is something like a very not common, but nothing big or strange. Or
okay, let me actually go back 1 second, because hold on, let's see what he just said. Hold on, I said 49 minutes.
For us is something like a very not common, but nothing big or strange. Or
her fake friends that
maybe just some punches or a little bit of blood. So like but nothing like this.
And what happens when they fight? Do the police come out, or is there security in the neighborhood where the police come out, or what happens when they fight?
Depends, because if somebody on the villa, they call the police. Well, they contact us and they want to call the police, or a neighbor can call the security and security can call the police, or we just know next day when they have a blue eye and say what happened. Oh, nothing. So we just have to fight. Or the lady next day, she just requests a taxi to go to the airport and leave. So it's something for us is something like a.
Why did he just say that? The next day, the lady requests a taxi and go to the airport and leave. Y'all notice that? Why did he say that? The next day, the lady requests a taxi and go to the airport and leave. Interesting.
Very not common, but nothing big or strange or like this situation.
Yeah, and are there cameras inside the villa? Like in the villas?
No. As it's part of the protect the privacy of our clients that the company Cabo Villas, we don't let the owners of the houses, we don't let them put cameras inside of the house, even if they say it's for their protection. We protect the privacy of our clients because they want to have a private time. So if you can find some cameras around the villa, is just by security of the neighbor, and they are focused on the streets.
So, of course, just to get into the conversation, I'm sure y'all could tell by the questions. At that time, I was trying to see where the cameras are located. Are there cameras in East Villa or what? So now that obviously he is the one at the villa, that he was at that villa, then the 32, he knows if there's cameras there or not. So at one point, Gerardo, the Niga was saying something about there was kind of recordings inside the house, like some kind of video footage, like webcam or whatever, surveillance. And he's saying, no, there's no cameras like inside, but there's some like pointed towards the roads and things like that for guest privacy. Obviously, it's a private bill. You don't want people to invade people's privacy.
They can be focused on the houses area, like a pool area, or to the rooms, or no, it's only like on the streets.
So only on the road area, not towards the pool, because some people go skinny dip and things like that, and not towards like rooms and things like that. Now keep in mind, some parts of these conversations, if you're new, certain things I say in the conversation are just me doing whatever I have to do to get my questions asked. Okay. People bring up certain things like, oh, why'd you say this or why'd you say that? And then obviously, if I'm on the phone with someone and they're trying to get off the phone, like in 5 minutes or even 10 minutes or 1 minute, it's my job to keep the conversation going and going and going and going. So obviously I got to learn how to do that, or know how to keep the conversation going and not have it end immediately. I think y'all know, like the one time it ended kind of fast, which is when I was talking to Winter, Donovan's mother. Other than that, I try to make sure that it stays, the call lasts as long as possible.
So there's no cameras on the houses.
Oh wow, so there's no camera pointed at the pool?
No.
And
it's not possible, because if somebody wants to be naked, so we can let the security or the owner or somebody have access to these cameras. So we have all kind of guests in with us, so we can have, obviously, especially me, I don't know too many like NFL stars, or I don't know too many famous people in United States, but we have a lot of people from United States who they are very important in CEO in companies, or famous people, rappers, or NFL players, or NBA players. So we don't know who is going to stay with us, but we need to make sure they have everything: security, privacy, attention, and services. So that's why we don't have cameras inside the house.
Now, remember, these are like expensive vacation villas. I mean, by expensive, I mean they actually own these places. A lot of these are $1 million places, are like high end places to actually own. Okay. the villas, like 160 villas or more that's owned by Cabo Villas. He's pretty much saying that a lot of people, like, yeah, rappers, NFL people, NBA, different people stay in these villas, like these vacation things. And they obviously want privacy in the pool area inside and things like that, and not to be actually watched. Let's be honest, who actually want to travel somewhere where there's cameras pointed at the pool or pointed here and pointed there? Now, there are some places obviously where the cameras are pointed at pools because for people's safety and things. But he's saying that these villas, they don't do that. Okay, hold on.
Okay, and what about like the front door, like you can see like who's coming in and out the front door?
Some houses they have it, but usually the houses they don't have it. No, not the like I say, the privacy of our clients is very, very important. So we don't have many of the houses, 160 houses that we have, they don't have cameras in the front door or in the pool, or they don't have it.
Okay, so yes, shout out to It's Your Season. Thank you so much for joining the Backup Channel membership. Thank you so much, yes, and everybody else. Remember, support the channel for free. Just by what? Hitting that like button. Are y'all ready for the new year? And remember that her birthday is coming up January 9th, okay? So let's see here. This is a previous recorded phone call with Ivan Concierge from Cabo Villas. Danny is revisiting calls and statements surrounding events leading up to the brutal assault of Shanquella Robinson. Yes, we are revisiting this call because now, as of yesterday, I know 100%. Before I had some percent, like maybe 80 to 85%, but now 100% I know that this is the actual concierge from the state. Okay, so he was the actual one from the state. He's no longer working at Cabo Villas, but it's not because of the incident. It's because I don't know what reason, but he said it's not because of the incident. Now that I know that it is the correct one, obviously I do have questions because in the police statement there are some things that people were like wondering about and want some clarification. Now he's obviously keep on saying that he can't talk because he can't talk. But as you can see, I always try to get more information even when people say they can't talk, because obviously until you stop like blocking me or whatever, I'm probably gonna have one more question because I want answers, and I'm sure most people do. So let's see here. Most likely, of course, most people don't just end up blocking me. It's just that they say they can't answer. Okay, so these are the messages from yesterday when I did speak to him. Just an update. I wanted to see if he actually recalled anything new and things like that. So we're just listening to the old call to see if there's anything there. Once I listen to the old call again and I also read the statement, I might actually say one more question again to see if anything like comes into my mind that I might want to ask. Okay, so that's why I'm revisiting. Okay, under the new lens of that this is the actual person. Before it was just like maybe this is the person, maybe it's not. Now as I'm listening to it under the lens that it is the right person, the right concierge, that the person that Dejanay called when she needed a doctor, the person she called when she wanted to leave and escape Mexico, the person she called, obviously, the person that greeted them when they came to the villas, who saw who arrived and gave them the guest list. So this is the actual person that I'm speaking to, and that I've been in communication with as of yesterday. Okay.
Okay, and what if like if all the guests don't arrive at the same time, how can all the guests sign in? Like if you have to, like if one guest is going to come later, does someone have to sign their name for them or write their name on the list for them because they're not there yet at sign in or check in for the guest register?
Yes, it is possible to just put the name of the people who is coming and who is arriving. and then when they arrive, they can sign the paper. But it's possible to people arrive in different flights and different times.
Okay, and so the first guest. So if I have someone coming later after me, I could put their name on a list because I know they're coming. That way, they can already be signed in already.
It is possible because many times they want to let us know who is coming to the house. So who is going to be the whole party, and security can check and ask if one more people who arrive next day is on the list to be in the house. It's possible.
So basically he's saying it's possible that even if a guest is going to arrive later, that their name will already be on the list because somebody else will already put their name there on the list, which is what happened in this case, which you already noted on the document that Dejanay is the one that signed Nazir Wiggins in. And we all know that Nazir had made a video saying that somebody else signed him in because he arrived late. Okay, let's see. Wayne says this happened in her room, so there should have been some type of video surveillance. Nowhere where you go on any vacation, any villas, Airbnb, hotel, will they ever have a video recording surveillance in your room. That's like the main private area is a bedroom and a bath. They can only have cameras most of the time in common areas or hallways, like if you go into the hallway of a hotel or something like that. But actually in your room, that's a total violation of privacy, and they would never do that. Yeah. Now for the pool area, obviously for drowning and different things and surveillance, not they might have something pointing towards a pool, especially when it's not like a private pool for skinny dipping. But your room, definitely invasion of privacy, have any surveillance in your bedrooms. Let's see. Welcome.
Okay. And when y'all always use Cabo as the ground transportation?
Yes, we have a deal with Cabo, and only when the guests arrive, they don't make reservation. They have 100 of different options to travel to the villa as each taxi or another company's transportation company.
But your main deal is with Cabo.
100%.
And does Cabo already know what time the guests will arrive from their flights, or do they have to call Cabo when they get there and say, hey, I need a ride?
Yeah, when they arrive, when they make reservation for a service, we know the guests provide flight information. So we know when is arriving the flight, and we are expecting they show up if they don't lose the flight. Then when the guests arrive, they go through customs and they get their luggage, go to customs service. They check everybody's luggage, x-rays and everything to make sure they don't bring nothing that is not allowed. And then when they finish that process, they go to a place who is a parking area, and they need to find the Cabo area. So they go with a guy who represents Cabo and tell them, my name is this, I am in this reservation villa, and if they have their information, they call the driver, and the driver arrive to the parking area, pick up the client, if it's 1, 2, 3, or 10 or 15, and then they take it to the villa. That's the process.
Okay, thank you. That's very detailed. Also, what happens if another guest arrives, but they arrive late, like they arrive the next day? Will they get the same service, or will they have to get a different transportation?
Well, if they're supposed to arrive with the group and he lost the flight, he need to make a new arrangement with our company, Cabo Villas, so we can call Cabo and tell them we are waiting somebody else, or he can just show up and take a taxi or shuttle or another service they offer there. Because even if people show up and they want Cabo give them the service, sometimes they are so busy that they can provide a car. So they can give you the service, and the client who arrived later or another day, they need to find another way to go to the villa. Could be another taxi usually, or they are another transportation companies, they can help them.
Okay, and
so pretty much that was people wondering about Nazir, who arrived later than the rest, wondering how he would get there. So the first people arrived and they got like a ride through Cabo, and then he will have to get his own transportation to get to the villa.
so it's only free if you get there with the group. So if you don't get there with the group, you have to pay.
Yes, it's another service, so somebody need to pay for the service. So somebody need to pay, like if it's a family and one of the daughters couldn't arrive next day, usually maybe the father pay for that service. But if not, if it's another friend or it's another friend of the group, he need to pay your transportation to the villa as they pay the flight. So you need to take care of your own cost to get to the villa.
So Cabo is Cabo free, or is it everyone has to pay for Cabo, or is it's free for one trip?
So when you book through Cabo Villas, you can check, and it's as a deal, as a promo, as a thank you for booking with us. Is one free transportation from the airport to the villa, from 1 to 10 people, or depends of the villa. If it's a big villa, and it's more expensive, so it's maybe 15 people, so it's a transfer. One car is like a free to go to the villa. And if it's more people coming, sometimes if it's like 10 people coming and just one people arrive, they can get just the car for one people to get to the villa, and the rest of the group, he arrived later or in a different time, they need to pay for another service to us, or they need to found themselves. They need to pay online or find another online the service, or they need to pay when they arrive. But it's only one who is included. So that's the promotion is, when you book your villa, we give you one free ride to the villa, from the airport to the villa. That's all of our reservation. They include one. That's why we have a deal with Cabo, because each reservation they have transportation included. One way to the villa, from the airport to the villa is included.
Okay.
So basically, of course, again, one with a lot of services, sometimes like full services, like all inclusive, not all inclusive, but full service companies, they will offer you they'll offer you a trip, like a ride or transportation from the airport to the hotel will be sometimes included. You can include that into your package. So anyone that arrived together, the first group of people arrived, they can all get like a free ride to the villa. Anyone that comes off it will have to actually pay.
If a guest decides to leave early, do they get a refund? Do they leave early, or do you get a notice or notification that they left early, and they get a refund, or how does that work?
No, we have cancellation policies. So many of the things need to be canceled, like 14 days in advance before you arrive to the villa. And like transportation things, they don't do refund because they the money is already on the bank and paid for everybody. Like if you buy through Cabo Villas, we say the way back from the villa to the airport at your checkout when your vacation are finished, you need to pay in advance to Cabo Villas like months ago. So in that way, as soon you are arriving to the villa, before those 14 days before you arrive, maybe you can make cancellation and you can negotiate with the company about if it's possible to do refund. But if you are in Cabo and you want to cancel, it's not possible because they already send the money, send the commission, make the reservation. So it's not each like a service activity, even catering services. If you cancel one day before, I'm sorry, but they buy everything to be ready for your service, and they already have an agreement with the chef to provide the service, so they can just say to everybody, or try and say no, thank you. So we need to give the money back. It's not possible because everything was ready and set up.
Okay.
So in the cancellation and refund, Cabo Villas specifically has in the contract what is possible to cancel and when is possible to cancel.
Okay. If I ask that question that y'all put on here, if I ask that question, it's gonna go back to being too specific. He's gonna get back to his old self. So for the Villa Linda 32, is that still open for reservations, or is it they have taken it down for reservations for now?
So again, my call was before the statement was released by Sue Ann, before that letter to the White House. So my conversation was in early January, okay? Early January of 2023. And then that letter to the White House, when the actual statements were released, were later. When was that? March. So that was March. So my conversation with the concierge was before the release of that statement by Sue Ann on March 13, 2023. Okay. So at this time, I had no idea about any police statement given or what was said in a police statement by the concierge or any information like that, because it had not been released yet, and it would not have been released for 2 more months.
Sorry. I'm sorry, could you repeat me, please?
So right now, I don't see Villa Linda on the website. I see it actually has a different name now. So is it closed now for reservations?
I don't have that information because that information is provided by the department in Cabo Villas, United States, and they work on their website. So like if somebody wants to book a villa, I don't have access to that information, so only when you check the website, you can see if the house is available or is not, or if they change the name, because we have villas who change the name. Like we used to have a villa named Diamante de Lao, Diamond, and Lao is L-A-W, is the last name of the owner. And now the name of the villa is Sunrise, so it's not anymore that name, because they they sold the house, and the new owner, he put a new name. But that information to see if it's available is only on the website. So if you check at Cabo Villas, cabovillas.com, you can check if it's available or not. But I don't have that access to that information, because if you see at the website cabovillas.com, you can check that you can make you can see a calendar, and the calendar show you when the villa is available. But the owner, he can book a time to stay on the villa with their family if they want it. So it's not possible to know if one villa is available or not. Only if you found it on website, in the website, you can see if it's available or not.
Okay, so the person that owns the villa, they so Cabo Villa is just like the manager. They manage the villas for the owner. So
yes.
someone
So I like to say that we are the real Airbnb for more than 20 years. So we are like a Airbnb. So we don't own, the company don't own the house. So the owner work with Cabo Villas, and Cabo Villas take care of the marketing, take care of the contracts, the services. They have us as a concierge to make sure we take care of we take care of the clients. It's not like the traditional Airbnb that give you the keys and the owner give you the key and say God bless you. No, so we are a company who assist and help and take care the clients, and we are a company who are between the owner of the house and the client to make sure everything works the best is possible in each house, like in air conditioning, the pool, security, furniture in good conditions, hot water, everything. So we make sure the owner provide this service to the client. But we don't own the houses, so we are in the middle, like a Airbnb, but much better.
So pretty much he's just saying what we already pretty much know, that Cabo Villas doesn't actually own all the villas. They're kind of like a property manager, or they manage all the homes, the villas, kind of like a Airbnb, but more full service Airbnb, but they actually take care of a lot of the things. They maintain the homes as well. Okay. Yeah. So Cabo Villas, of course, I already mentioned before, for those that are new, that they already have changed the name to Villa Vista Almar. So Villa Vista Almar is the new name. So it was Villa Linda 32. So obviously, due to the press and media discussing Villa Linda 32, they rebranded and put Villa Vista El Mar as the new name.
Okay, so you said security. So you're talking about security, just the cameras outside, and then security nearby. So what security?
They'll work with the security of the neighbor, like the security, like each neighbor. In this case, a house, like many of our houses, or all of our houses, they are inside of a neighborhood who they have a homeowner association, and as a homeowner association, they have different services, maintenance, security, things like that, cleaning services. So we, as a Cabo Villa, we're talking about security in the house is to make sure they don't have steps on the stair that they are not good, so people can fall or things like that. So everything works on the house properly. So they don't have wires outside, and somebody can be have a electricity. So things like that. We check the plumbing, the gas. I don't know what is a gas, like a gas plumbing or gas installation. So we have we make to each house constantly. We make what is the name of this? We check the houses. So to make sure they have clean, in good shape, and everything works. So that's part of the security on the houses that we provide to the guests.
So
and we make sure we have a contact with the security on the neighbor too.
So when the guests check in, are they given the information for the security in the neighborhood for the homeowners association kind of thing?
When they are traveling, they provide first the information to Cabo Villas, as say who is traveling, who is arriving, how many people, when they arrive in the flight information. But all this information is only for our company, Cabo Villas. And then when they arrive, because it's a homeowner association or neighborhood, they need to go through security. So many of these places, you need to have we need to have an IDs, special IDs or authorization IDs to get into my company send the information we are a concierge and we're going to be providing services to the houses. They give us special cards we can get into the neighborhood. So security has different gates when you can get in through the main gate, or you can get in through the providers or vendors or construction. They have a specific entrances for each for different people who get into the neighbor. The owner of the house is not going to be online with the guy who is bringing concrete to the construction on the area. So they have different areas, and they need to go through these security gates.
Okay.
And of course, as a company, we are in contact with this security, and when something happens, well, each neighbor, they have rules, especially with the noise, to don't have a complaint about excessive noise to bother other neighbors. And they can help us with this. If something happens, we can call the security they go first to the house, and then the concierge arrive if it's necessary to be there.
So again, that question was established, what the surroundings and whether there's security or not. And in that area, there actually was security. Okay, so there was help. Obviously, we already know that there was help around and available. Obviously, when somebody's being brutally beaten, like Dejanay was doing Shanquella, there was security in the area that could have been called. If someone had called the concierge and said, this or that is happening, they could have got security there and the police there, if they had told the truth. But based on that statement, they did not. No one told the Cabo 6 did not tell the concierge the truth about what happened. So that's why he didn't send out the security and of course the police. But of course, he's focusing on the main guest, which is Desiree Jackson. He said, when I saw, he says, days later, I found out that there's a lot of controversy because of the news and the video of the main guest, Miss Desiree Jackson, hitting her friend Shanquella, the guest who died. When I saw the video in social media, I realized that practically the main guest, Miss Jackson, had manipulated me with the information she provided of what happened to leave the country as soon as possible.
The concierge arrived later, but security is the first one to get into if it's needed.
So since security is in the neighborhood and close by, if something were to happen, security is the first one that would get there, obviously, because they're in the neighborhood.
So do you so the guests have to call the concierge to get the security, or does the guest have the security's number so they can call them without the concierge?
No, security. Well, in the check-in, in some neighbors, when they do check-in, the security, the gate, the security in the neighbor, they give them some papers with information about the rules, especially about the rules, because we have sometimes like a bachelor party or bachelorette party, and we give them the rules about what is the rules on the neighbor, like is not allowed to walking on the streets of the neighbor with beer cans and tequila bottles. They can have excessive outdoor noise at night. Should be from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. No music, no party. So other owners of the houses, they live there, so they need to work or they need to rest. So when they do check-in, sometimes in some neighbors, the security provide a paperwork with information, and in that information is the security number. But we usually recommend to our clients to contact first the concierge, so we are the main contact in house.
Yeah, so the concierge is the main contact for all the guest needs, and then
we are 24/7. So if it's 3 a.m. in the morning and they need something, they can call us or send us a text message. So that's why if you call like me, I need to answer no matter what, because you can be one of my guests, so I need to be ready all the time.
Yeah, I see that you.
That was a little. He was actually being a little bit shady. He said he has to be available 24/7 on call, like concierge, okay? Because it could be a guest and they need something 24/7, and that's why he said he has to answer the phone. So whenever I call, he said, "Hey, I have to answer because I don't know, you could be a guest." But like, okay, after the first time, you know it's me because you have my number, right? So he had my number. But yeah, so that's why he said that he answered originally because I could be a guest. Hold on.
You answered the phone really fast. So,
and yeah, based on all the people I called, all of them answered right away. I responded right away. So that tells me. Now, again, this is me after the whole incident. I don't know their response time before the incident. Okay, based on some reviews, it looks like they were still fast. Okay, so I can't say, well, just because they responded to me fast in January, but I was calling around and things, it doesn't mean that they responded to. Well, actually, I was calling before January. I have to look at the timeline. But anyways, that doesn't mean that in October, when this all happened, that it was actually fast response time. But most likely it probably was because that's their job, to be on call 24/7. Okay, come on.
Are there cameras at the security gate, like when they come into the security gate for the home?
Yes.
There's cameras there?
Yes. And many of these security companies, they have cameras all over the place, but they focus only on the roads. They can't have the cameras facing the houses, like specifically houses. So they just have on the roads.
Yeah, so but since when someone is driving into the villa, they would have to focus on the road and the cars on the road, so they would know who's in the. They would be able to see the cars on the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, when you check in, it's a few cameras on the security entrance because it's far from the houses, so they control. You can find like at least two cameras, sometimes 4 or 6 cameras on the security area in the gate in the entrance.
When they.
So basically, it's just saying right there that there are ways, even though they might not be on the actual bill or even on the front door, the actual security gate entrance, which is a little bit away from the homes, that at that entrance there is a lot of cameras there, so they can still see who comes in and out of that area, out of that like the homeowners area.
When they get to the gate, do they have to get out the vehicle, or do they just stay in the vehicle and sign in, or what?
No, they don't. We don't bother the clients to get out from the vehicles. So the driver provides the information, and the security guy, he can open the door and check how many people is getting in, but they don't get out.
Oh, okay. Okay, so basically, when the guest gets sick, when the guest need a doctor, y'all, the concierge calls them like a on-call concierge doctor.
Yes.
Do y'all have? Does Cabo has a contract with American Medical Center? Is it contracted?
Cabo Villas, yes, we have. Like contracts or companies who work with us, and they work with us because they Cabo Villas check that they really provide a professional service in all the ways. They have insurance, they have facilities, they have.
So American Medical Center is where Dr. Carolina, the doctor that came out, that's where she works. So they say they have certain companies that they work with, and the reason they chose American Medical Center because their professionalism. And as we can see, Dr. Carolina was a new doctor, and to me, she didn't do her job, and to many others, she also didn't do her thorough job. Okay. Yeah, so that's where she works, and I was pretty much just asking that question, obviously, to see why they would contact Dr. Carolina. And as you can see, they have like he's not saying it's necessarily a contract, but there are certain doctors they work with. To me, Cabo Bills is obviously full service. They make sure that anything that happens with the guest, they have the concierge to handle everything, so that way they can get some sort of money out of it or profit. They handle like who calls for the doctor, what doctor comes out, and what companies they associate with, the chef, what companies they associate with, the maid, transportation. They said they usually mostly Cabo, so it's like a full service they provide. And if guests need anything, they make sure they're like the middleman, and the middleman, as everyone knows, will have their hands in the money. Okay. Smart way to do business, because you make sure that no matter what your guests need while traveling in Cabo, that they have to reach out to you, and you'll find your way of making sure that you give them companies that you work with or contracted with or whatever else. The middleman too.
Top facilities, they have all the our guest needs, and after that, then we can work with them. But also the guest, he can choose to go to another hospital available if they want, or they recommend, or they have like a brand they know. We are Cabo San Lucas we are like a extension of United States, talking about banks, services. You can find everything that you need like in United States with the same quality and professional people.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. And so, who is the owner of the Villa Linda 32? Who's the owner of that villa?
I don't know the names of the owners, and we don't, as a concierge, we don't work with the owners. So Cabo Villas has a department who make all the contracts or the arrangement with the owners. So I don't know many owners of the houses. So I don't know the names. I don't know how they are. I don't know phones. I don't have any information of the owners because that's information that Cabo Villas management. That you need to know is that here in Mexico, the police that
Okay, hold on one second. I don't know what happened.
like
What other questions do y'all have? Okay, y'all have. I don't see any more questions. Also, does the guest have to give you emergency contact information?
like what? Like they have allergies?
Yeah, allergies or just who they can contact in an emergency situation.
Puedes sacarlos de internet. Lo checas en internet en tu teléfono y ya de ahí lo pasas a tu cuaderno. Pues de ahí los dibujas, no tienen que ser bonitos, nomás que se parezcan.
La maestra es bonita.
Pero hazlo lo más bonito que puedas. I'm sorry. Emergency contact information that I don't have access to that information.
Oh, so you're saying like on the guest register, do you you have the phone numbers of the guests and then you have the addresses?
No, just they need is the name, sign, and phone number of each of them.
Okay. And you don't have them sign any kind of documents that would show like who to contact in the United States for emergency or anything for them? Just their phone
we
number?
don't have as a concierge, we don't have it. So if we have it, it's as a Cabo Villas, should be the department of Cabo Villas who has this information.
Okay.
So we have a guest services department, and they management any situation that is out of our hands.
Okay, but when a doctor is called out, like on call doctor or concierge, do they accept health insurance or is it cash only?
I know it's possible to get cash only if it's like when the doctor go to the villa and given some IV, like irritation when they are, I don't know, they feel sick or they are hungover, and so they can pay to them in cash. I know when they need to go to the hospital, they need to provide that information to the hospital, because sometimes the bill is going to be a few $1,000s, so they need to use insurance.
Okay, so when it's like on-call doctor and it's like just an IV or something like for a hangover or something like that, they have to pay like cash. But yes, when it's like go to hospital or something like that, then it would be health insurance information would need it.
Yes, happened to me one time I have some guests, they book activities by themselves in the marina. They have an accident in the UTV. The guy has injuries in her hand, so he needs a surgery. So they was, I went to help them, and they was asking for the insurance, and they say they didn't have insurance. So I think it was like $10,000 if they want to do the surgery. And these guests, they just take a flight and go home, and they get the medical services in the United States. They request insurance information, but in the hospital.
Okay, what about the American Red Cross?
Again, He's talking about somebody went to the hospital before they actually went to the actual hospital, and then the hospital told them that. He didn't say that somebody came out and told them that. He said previous guests, and he's not talking about Shanquella. Obviously, we already know about the American Red Cross. That's who actually comes out, similar to 911 in the United States. 911 over there will actually come out as well. Okay.
Cross, like, do they charge to come out? Like, is it free, or how does that work?
The Red Cross in Mexico is not as the Red Cross in the United States. So even me as a Mexican, I don't use the Red Cross. I prefer to go to a small hospital and pay for a better service. So it's not something that, like I say, we work with some companies who we know they give the best service. And it's not with all the hospitals. So if we don't work with another hospital, we don't recommend it. The client can check online or online to see another hospital, and they can choose another hospital, or they can choose like a Red Cross. But like a Red Cross in Mexico, first of all, they don't speak English, so that's a big problem, and they don't have doctors or paramedics who speak English. So many of our clients, they speak English, so it's difficult to get a good service when you have a problem on communication.
So right here, it sounds like Cabo Billows has it kind of set to where they like to have their own recommended people come out. Like, American Medical Center, where Dr. Caroline is from, instead of actually having, they don't really recommend Red Cross. However, clients can choose whether they want Red Cross or other options, but that is available.
So, why do you say that the Red Cross isn't? I spoke to the Red Cross. I think they have like 1 year of training to be a paramedic for the Red Cross.
And by the way, at that time, I was just getting over like a cold, and I still had like a cough, like a lingering cough. So I had to push pause and like mute myself, so I could actually cough. Like, child, my throat was hurting. But I was like, let me get through, like, answer some of these questions. But I was sick at that time, by the way.
Usually they are, I don't really know how much they take, but usually if the Red Cross arrive in other parts of Mexico, they give you the basic, basic services, and they take the people in an ambulance and then take it to the hospital that they want. Because Red Cross, they don't have a hospital.
Okay.
Usually it's like a small base where they have ambulance and paramedics only. They don't have equipment, they don't have technology, they don't have everything that many times you need.
But are they free?
No, they charge, but they charge not too much, so it's very, very cheap.
Okay. Uno momento. Okay, y'all. I think that's about it. I'm also so yeah, I don't think there's any more questions. I'll see if he'll talk again another time, but for some reason I'm already starting to I'm not covered yet. Hey, time. So, are there any more questions while I have him on the phone? Because I can't think of any more questions. Some of you need to catch the replay because some of you are asking questions like he is the concierge that was with Shanquella. He's not the concierge that was with Shanquella. He's a concierge for Cabo Villa, so he knows the procedures and protocols of the company.
Now, at that time, I didn't have 100% proof that that was the actual one. Now I actually do have proof that he was the actual one there. Okay, so when people are, some people are coming in late because there's a lot of people in that live. Some people were coming in late thinking that it was the actual one, so they were wondering why I wasn't asking like specific questions and not just general stuff. Now, as of yesterday, I know that I was actually talking to the real concierge. Okay, from that night. So I'm just saying y'all know that's why y'all see two avatars up here, because I'm doing a replay of my old video from January.
But he's not the one that was working that night. So some of you need to catch the replay to see what's going on. I don't see any more questions. So what I'll do is I'll see if he'll talk another day, right? Because right now I don't see any more questions and I have him on the line. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. So I pretty much asked a lot of questions. I asked about the security. And I don't see y'all with any questions. Okay, Ivan, Donata, hope you have a great night. I appreciate you answering some of our general questions. Is it okay if we call you back another day to if we have any other questions?
Yes, of course. Like I say, I can help you with any question and general information that you can also find in the website of Cabo Villas, and also information that you can find in the website of the neighbor, like the Puerto Los Cabos website. Cool.
Oh, and did the police ever ask you questions about this? Because you weren't at the villa, but did they ask all the company questions, or did they just ask the people that were there?
Yes, the police called, and the police called the people who, in some way, they are in the situation, like the chef or the maid or the concierge who was there.
But they never spoke to you?
So pretty much he's talking about who the police spoke to. Yeah, so the maid, the chef, the concierge, obviously, which is him, right? Hold on.
No, but I can give you like information from that situation.
So again, at that time, he was not admitting that he was the actual concierge. Okay, so he was saying no, that he's not the actual one, but because he wasn't really supposed to be talking to me at all. Most people that I call were actually just getting out the phone fast and not really talking or answering any questions, including general. He would answer questions, but he wouldn't say that he was the actual concierge for that night up until yesterday, where he actually admitted. And obviously, yesterday he's no longer working there. Look at my title. He's no longer working there, so that's probably why he went ahead and admitted finally that that the statement that he gave was all that he could remember, and that he is the actual one. He's no longer at Cabo Villas, and it has nothing to do with this incident. According to him, he's just no longer working there.
Because I know the concierge, I know, more I know the concierge, but I can give you that information.
So he's saying that he knows, and he said, but more he knows the concierge.
Because he's under investigation.
And yes, it was heavily under investigation at that time. That was January, before any announcements were made by the FBI on certain things.
Yeah.
So we can give information about what we hear could be happen in that situation, because we are not allowed to give off point of view or what we think about it or what we think what happened. We can say nothing about it. It's an investigation on it.
Yeah, I know. I understand. So the concierge and the maid and the chef are under investigation too.
I'm sorry again?
So the concierge, the maid, and the chef are under investigation. So that's why you can't give information on them.
Yes. So they called them to go there and give they ask questions about everything, about who was there, about everything, what they saw, what they think happened, but so they are under investigation, not because they do something. It's more like to figure out what happened.
Yeah, to figure out what happened.
And because they provide this information, nobody can give information about it, because they can make a mistake, and news or people or your family or friends, you can think something different, but it's everything under investigation. That's why nobody on the company, we can give information or what we think about it or what we think what happened, because the police is trying to figure out that it's an investigation.
Yeah, that's weird. Why would the police ask the chef questions when the chef was just there for dinner? He wasn't there the next day, so why would they ask him questions about it?
Well, because they ask about everything since they arrived, the dinner. The chef, he didn't he was afraid about being called for the police department if he wasn't there. But like I say, the police is asking about try to figure out what happened, so collect different pieces.
Right.
And that's why we can give you information about the times or what they do, or because the police is working on that investigation. And something that I can tell you is they really wants to find what happened and who is responsible about it.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
You can call me anytime.
All right. Thank you so much. Gracias. De nada.
For nada, you're welcome, and I'm so sorry.
Okay, I know you are, and we really appreciate. This was really, really helpful. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it so much for you answering our questions. And I definitely will call you back if we have any other general questions, not specific, just general questions, because I don't want you to be in trouble. I don't. So, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, and I really try to help you, and I don't want to be in trouble, because that's what we do. We try to help. So
yes, you're the nicest person that I've spoken to this whole time. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Buenas noches.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's the call. And again, this is also the statement from the concierge. So what I'm going to do, wait, let me put my music back on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually, now that I listen to the call again and I see y'all listen with me, I'm going to actually read the actual statement that he gave. And from there, I'm going to actually see if I have any other questions. And of course, you know, I'm going to do my one more question thing to see what else I will want to ask him now that I know 100% that he's the actual person. Okay. So that's where we're at right now. I just want to give y'all that update that now I know that the call I had in January is the actual concierge. He only answers general questions. He's no longer working there. Yeah, since the whole time, since recently, the police, I guess I've not really questioned him. I don't know, but he cannot remember anything else. So he said that he cannot remember anything else. Everything that he remembers, he said, is in his statement. So this statement right here, hold on. Let me take this picture down. Wait. Okay, so this statement right here that he gave, this is his statement on page. I'm gonna put this one more time in the chat for those that want to look at it. From page 44. Well, not this. That's the actual document page, and on the PDF itself, it's on page 7 all the way onto page 13. So from page 7 to 13 is his statement. I'm gonna put that in the chat. I'm gonna read his statement, and then I'm also gonna go over, just remember what I heard on the call, and I'm gonna see if there's any other questions that I have. Now, as far as the first statement on page 5, that's actually the manager. His name is Gio. Okay, Gio is the actual manager, the one that told Ivan to go home once he got there to the scene. So when you read this first statement right here, the one that's 39, that's actually the manager, and it will say manager there. His name is Gio. He's in the customer reviews. Okay, and then that's his statement right here, and it's brief. It's very brief. Okay, because he came there after he was called there. And then that's all I wish to state. That's his statement. And then moving on right here, the second part, it goes into the Ivan, who is the actual concierge. And he's 41 right here. And then his statement is rather long, like it's long, way longer than the manager. Okay. The manager seems more matter of fact than just wanting to, like, you know, get it over with. He's like the manager, and then he's the one that's more detailed. There are some people have questions, because I've seen videos, people having questions about his statement, things they want clarification on, like this guest or that guest. He will definitely have the answers, right? To certain people or certain things that people are not clear. Obviously, English is not his first language. Now, what's interesting is how Gio said he had to be the translator, but a lot of the concierge and a lot of people they hire, at least the concierge, are people that speak English and Spanish. And as you can see, Ivan had no issue communicating with me. Okay, it's obvious that English is his first language, but as you can see on here, it says English and Spanish, so he speaks both, and he had no issues communicating with me. So he didn't need there was no need for a translator, for Gio to be the translator. He could, the main person that was actually had more information was Ivan about the guests, because he had more interaction with the guests. So when people arrived and they told him to leave, why? But he was actually, he should be the one to actually stay the whole time, right? He should have stayed because he knows English. He could be the translator. I think my friend has alcohol poisoning and needs emergency service and someone to speak or translate in Spanish for us. that's that statement. And let me go back to it. Where was it? He says, I approached blank, that's Gio, who told me to leave, to go back to my villas in Cabo, San Lucas, that he will be in charge of following up and supporting the clients and the authorities. So the manager wanted to take over, even though the manager wouldn't have as much information as Ivan would. So Ivan said, I said goodbye to the clients and left for Cabo, San Lucas. And then from there. So anyways, I'm going to put this back in the chat, and I'm going to go over this for my own time to see any holes or anything that I want to actually reach out for clarification. Now, again, I don't know if he will actually answer or not, but once I review things, I will see if there's anything I want to ask. Okay. Let's see here. With that, y'all can have a great. This is Tracy. Hey, Tracy. This is actually a live, but we're actually reviewing an old video from January because we have new information to add to that. Okay. So here's the link to the actual statement. Anybody catching a replay, if there's anything that you caught onto or things that you want like clarification on. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying that I will get the answer just because you have a question. I said that I could look over it and I can try if I think that is something I would want to ask myself too as well. Okay, so let's see here. Document link. That's the link to the document. And then this is the link to the petition. And then we're going to be out of here. And I appreciate everyone for being here and for your patience. And if anybody has any questions, they can always just message me on IG at Danny Robertson YT and reach out. Okay, let me see. Ivan would have been helpful. Definitely. He definitely should have stayed the whole time because he was the obvious one that would have more information on everything that happened, right? Let's see. Hey, Sherry. Okay, let's see. Sandy's here. Shout out to my mod GT5. Thank you so much for being here and helping out. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Bye. Hit that like button on your way out. Now, I might go live later on tonight just to listen to some music and kick back on Stacey Head on my backup channel, Danny Robertson TV. After I eat, okay, I don't know, and they will be quick, just to go over some YouTube mess. But I don't know. I'll see. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Bye.